What's up, family? It's your main man, Dr. Life, in the business of saving lives. That's what they call me. That's what I do. I do something called Have Life Coaching. Have Life Coaching. This is one of my teams out of Chicago, where I was a player slash coach. Us player, played on the team, the Angels. But we also went and recruited groups of young people who played in a lower division underneath us. So while we was playing on a pro-am level ourselves, I was also playing on a college, a D2 college team at the same time while I was playing in this team. And then we took a group of younger people who was in high school and a group of babies who was 6 at the time. This is a blueprint. This is a blueprint. I call it the last gold rush. For those of y'all investors, for those of y'all, I'm talking about my people. This is an exclusive. Y'all saw the work that we've done over the years. It's my son. When we was grooming him at the age of 6 in the Michael Finley, that's Michael Finley, where he played for the Spurs. Michael Finley basketball camp annually. So once again, I'm talking to my people. If the people in this picture, my wife, my children, myself, if you are our family members, if you are our teammates, these kids have played on teams and won championships on teams. Basketball, volleyball, playing football, little one playing football, my wife basketball, myself basketball, volleyball, football. I'm talking to my teams. Talking to my team. My teams from Oakwood, Pine Forge. So we've invested in a blueprint, a system, a league, several different leagues that fall under a category. The parent overall, overarching entity we call Holywood Games. You know, they have the Olympic Games. And we have Holywood Games. And under Holywood Games, you have the basketball league, you got the football league, you got the volleyball league, you got straight up and down track and field. So what I'm going to show you is there's an investment opportunities based off of challenges that other individuals and other organizations are doing. They're coming into our communities and they're setting up these leagues. But unfortunately, our people are being exploited and not benefiting from them. So this conversation, I'm having this conversation right now for several reasons. Back in 2008, 2009, I was coaching at an academy in Orlando, Florida, Mount Sinai Wildcats. I had them in the Orlando Junior Magic Basketball League. I had a summer camp going, 6-week summer camp. Things were booming. But the financial banking crisis hit in 2008. So about 2009 came around. The families were so hit so hard economically that the families were scattering. Foreclosure was crushing this community. Families was having to move in with parents. So I've seen firsthand how the business cycles which don't teach our communities how to thrive or survive, but simply how to take their raw talents and just give them away for free. So we put together a league based off of going through that experience in 2008 and 2009, making some adjustments, making some new partnerships, finding some new types of investors, and studying some of the oldest financial trends. So we decided to create a league with a university that teaches the financial principles of everybody involved: players, coaches, investors, sponsors. It's called One Love You. One Love You. Alright? This is an all natural, well, supernatural approach to building and breaking cycles, generational curses of poverty, breaking the cycles of the crime and the violence. When you have talents, raw talents that generate $12 trillion a year annually, listen to me. When you have raw talents that generate $12 trillion a year annually, football, basketball, fashion associated with those things, the health market associated with that, the entertainment associated with that. That's Hollywood, that's the music, that's all of that, because they use these individuals to sell all type of products. There are $12 trillion annually that are generated. The college, sports, the self-help industries, motivation, $12 trillion are generated. And for us to be the bedrock, 85% of the NFL is us. Close to that is the NBA too. So it's unnatural for us to have raw talents that don't benefit our communities. Something is wrong with that picture. So Holywood Games and the USA Basketball Association, the USA FL, the USA Football League are the two pillars that we're going to show y'all that you got an opportunity to do the same thing that Snoop did. Snoop reached out to individuals in his circle, just like I'm reaching out to the individuals in my circle that I played with, that we've gone to school with, we broke bread with, we've raised children together. We've invested in these leagues. We've invested in these community organizations. We've already been doing this over the years. Snoop reached out to his crew. He raised $1 million. And then the $1 million that he raised from his crew, they got the fields. They set the teams up. They created a league, Snoop Youth Football League. And 14 years later, the league is there. The same cycles of poverty, crime, violence, because it's a unnatural business model. So we're going to take the same 14 years from 2020 to 2034. We're going to do the same thing with us in our circle. The only difference is this. Let me show you.
In the area that we was living in, and I had a few dollars in my pocket, so I wasn't living in the hood no more. But what was happening in my mind was, wow, I really want the kids in the hood to experience what my son has experienced. So the next year, my son played in a league where he was in a league where there were hood kids. But I just didn't like the league, and I didn't feel like it was benefiting the community. So I was like, the next year, I'm gonna start my own league. And I got with one of the coaches from the teams that was in the league that I was in, and we got with a bunch of other coaches and some volunteers and some people who believed in what we believed in, and put up $1 million and secured a few fields and got some uniforms and helmets and licenses and agreements and understanding. And we started the Snoop Youth Football League in 2005, and it was just something that I wanted to do to make it easy on the parents, because it was $300 for each kid to play. So what I did was provided a way for one single parent to pay for 3 kids to play. Wow. So if it was one kid in the house, it cost $100. The second kid, it cost $50. And if it was a cousin that lived down the street, you can put him on that same plan, and that was $50. So it was a total of 3 kids for $200 if you use that plan. Right. And that helped a lot of single mothers at that time to get their kids involved in the after-school program, which was football. And at the same time, it was a beautiful look that we needed in the hood, because they stripped us of a lot of our after-school programs. And I didn't even...
All right, so basically the business model was just to create an after-school program, with football as an after-school program. And the moms who's struggling still got to pay $100. So we not out here trying to create no after-school programs. We got those. What we trying to do is use our raw talent that's generating $12 trillion a year, and take that raw talent and re-divert it back into the neighborhoods that have been dilapidated, into the houses that have been exploited, the homes, into the families that have been decimated by poverty. That's how I look. So this is us. Once again, I'm talking to my family. This is all us. Those of y'all in Trenton, my family where I'm from, y'all know this Dome's son. This is my nephew. This is his highlight reel. But I became the basketball player that you saw in that movie, in that picture, because this is all we do in Trenton. So it automatically translated to the field. So I've taken this, not just the ability to do this, but we've been using our connection with the community of playing on a high level in football and basketball, and we've been creating separate outside leagues, just like Snoop. Here we are down in Orlando, Florida.
Guys, can you all pull up your apps?
So what you're looking at here is we taking a whole nother group of young people and we turning them into the producers. We also taking our football players, our basketball players, anybody in any of our leagues, track and field, the boxers, whatever. When you're not practicing and we're not playing, then you're in here learning the skill. So that when you get to the NFL, they don't put managers with you and people who going to take your money and steal your money. And so 75% of those who leave the NFL are broken bankrupt after 2 years. Seventy 75% of those who leave the league are broken bankrupt after 2 years. NBA is the same thing. It's just 5 years. Alright? So what we doing is we're creating multiple streams of revenue off of the asset, the raw talent of being the best in the world at football and basketball and track. And what y'all need to know is, especially those of y'all who looking to invest in all that, listen, I'm trying to tell y'all something. History always repeats itself. So if the economy crashed in 2008, 2009, there's another economic crash coming. So if we don't do anything different, if we don't put, this is what we put in place that we didn't have then. And it goes all the way up to the top. No matter what your financial income is, if you aren't doing what they're doing, they're teaching their young people how to move their assets and convert their assets into other secure safe havens in the event of economic crashes. And they're teaching them at 12, 14, 15.
My name is Shay, and I have a condition that I take a medication that's made out of human plasma. Hi, Shay.
In school in northern Idaho, where he couldn't find enough interesting subjects to satisfy his curious mind.
You can choose to register as a student and learn something, or become an expert and teach something.
His solution, give users a place to chat with instructors. Inman is the founder of Botangle, an online education program that links students with instructors around the world. A pretty remarkable accomplishment, considering he's only 15 years old.
So you can see all the best teachers. Oh,
22.
I'm shocked by Eric's success.
That's even younger than his mentor, Alexis Ohanian, was when he started the online community Reddit at the ripe old age of 22.
I'm shocked by Eric's success at this age compared to where I was.
Ohanian inspired a generation of smart, tech-savvy teens with his book, Without Their Permission, How the 21st Century Will Be Made, Not Managed. Eric read it, then took a $1,000 check his grandmother had given him at Easter and invested it in the online currency Bitcoin.
I just thought it was just such an amazing tool. It's going to be really big.
You hit the jackpot.
I hit the jackpot.
A jackpot worth $100,000. Eric was hooked. His next venture was inspired by feeling stuck in school in
All right. So, this jersey right here says Dundee Ridge. So when we got here, my son and my daughter, all right, they was going to school. I was coaching the basketball team here at this school. So a couple weeks ago, one of my ex-players from that school, they grown now. My son is about to graduate from college, but one of his players from that team came to me and was like, yo, coach, they got these leagues in Mexico, in Europe, in Asia. He was even telling me of some out in the Middle East. He's like, man, they paying like 10 grand. Yo, he just had a son. Like, yo, time's hard, man. I need to try and get that. I need that 10 grand in my life. So I immediately started talking to my people, like my man DJ from Chicago, talking to my peoples in Trenton, my cousins Dollar Bill, my cousin Sean. They came down here to my camp when I had the camp way back in 2008, 2009. My cousin Sean coaches football on a high school level in Trenton. He played on a college level, D1, West Virginia. This is what we do. This is our pedigree. So now I'm just connecting the dots and I'm saying we got our people in basketball and football who are going all over the world to try and earn a living. When we the best in the world at basketball, football, track, boxing, why are our people struggling in poverty? And the NBA and the NFL is putting out and making, in the NFL, they got 32 teams that make $2 billion a year annually. But the people who generate that revenue don't benefit generationally. That's unnatural. And this is why. So in our leagues, you get this information from the time you are shorty. So you guaranteed if you in our pro-am level, we making sure that when you touch 10 grand, when you touch 20 grand, 40 grand, 50 grand, whatever you touch, whatever we work out, it ain't no, God, yo, we breaking the generational curses of poverty. That's what I'm saying. All right, let me show you one other thing and let you know.
It's off the pass. Good job.
I'll work on me. 1, 2, 3.
All right. Music gave me the power to create a football league. Let's go! But football is it's taking me to places that music could have never took me to. One thing about life, you're gonna lose more than you win. But are you gonna get up?
It's a city of no pity, Mike. South Central Los Angeles, Mike.
13, about to turn 14.
Alright, so this episode is about to end, but I just want to let y'all know that this content, this is a deal between Netflix and Snoop. Meaning people want to consume and watch these little young people, superstar athletes, people around the country, around the globe want to watch it. The only problem with this model is only Snoop generates the money from people consuming this, and these young people, once they can't make a high school team, they falling into crime. Once they can't make it into college, they falling into crime. But when you're the best in the world, at any point in your life, you should be set for life. And as long as you play in these leagues, and as long as we invest and we put the financial infrastructure around, when you walk away from our teams, your house, your finances, your future, your family down the road, your family who raised you should all be better financially, knowledge-wise, from you having played in this league. Alright, so we call it a quadruple threat, especially if you at the pro-am level. But we number one, what we're going to invest in, we're investing in the actual plane. We're also investing in individuals turning around and receiving another source of income from being a have life coach like us. Like I said, we were playing on the Angels and we were coaching the junior squad. Well, I call that have life coaching. So here in this league, you get paid to play. You get paid to coach. Then you get also paid to promote, to model the supernatural blueprint that produces abundant life instead of poverty and playing for free, exploitation. This is an image. And just like Adidas and Nike, they hire the individuals who play in the NBA and NFL to promote their brands and their fashion and their art. This is the image is just as valuable in what we're doing and selling. One Love You, the supernatural, One Love. Because if it's not producing abundant life, it ain't love. That's how we determine whether or not we're going to get down with it or invest in it, or it got to get out of our community. Is it fruitful? Is it love? Alright? So, and then the fourth thing is, once you learn the principles from playing and coaching and modeling, then we sit you down at the table and we make you this offer that we make it here to our brothers and sisters that have been investing. Become an archangel investor. So in the next joint, I'm going to come back and I'm going to explain what archangel investing is. Y'all just know in this one, they got a place called Silicon Valley. That's up by San Francisco. And they invest in all of the tech companies. So with this little boy, he got it with a dude, the mentor. They go to Silicon Valley. They find an angel investor to invest and launch their tech companies. Silicon Valley is known for investing in technology companies. All we're doing is creating a last half of the gold rush. Y'all know they rushed to California to find gold way back in the 1800s in the USA. They called it the gold rush. Well, our people in recreation is a gold mine that has been untapped, and all we're doing is we're saying we're creating a last half of the gold rush, and then we're creating a group of investors who will constantly always invest in these leagues to make sure they get bigger and better and better. And so even once your playing days is over, even once your coaching days is over, with the financial principles that we put in place and being involved in this league, however long you're involved in it, there's still another level to go to take the money that you generated and then reinvest in the next generation and be compensated and receive a return on investment. This ain't charity. This ain't free. This is an investment. In the next video, I'm going to show y'all exactly how the NFL did it. Exactly how the NBA did it. They did it the same way Snoop did. Same way we doing it right here. And then let's a group of individuals in a couple cities invest in that city's team. No different. Only thing we doing different is we're gonna make sure that those who are playing get the knowledge to be able to make sure that this is perpetuated generation after generation. Go from breaking the cycle of poverty, and we call it the layers business cycle. Layer cycle. The Lion King and King's Bride. This ain't something we talking about. This is something we've been doing. Alright? So, let me tell you all the 9 cities. Trenton, New Jersey / Philadelphia. This is my home team. Trenton / Philly. Chicago. This is my other home team, where these babies is raised. Chicago got a league that we played in that been around for 30 years. 30 years. The team that I'm telling you we was playing this team, right? They've been around. They've been doing this for 30 years, yo. Nobody has monetized it. Nobody has streamed it. Nobody has broadcasted it. And we have all of the pieces in place to do all of that. I'm going to school for production, media production, all of that. We got the computer labs, we got the individuals who do film, who do all of that is in place. Chicago, Orlando, Huntsville, Alabama. Y'all know that picture that I showed you where I'm dunking it, that's my squad in Huntsville. So Huntsville. Then most of the cats from my team from Oakwood, Huntsville, live in Atlanta. So Atlanta. My right-hand man, stillborn. Brooklyn. I grew up in Naz Park, Brooklyn. It's like the Rucker Park of Brooklyn, Naz Park. So Brooklyn, New York. Queens, New York. My right-hand man at Oakwood, who went to Oakwood and played for Oakwood, Daniel Faulkner. A legend in our circles, Pine Forge, Oakwood, out of Queens. So we dropping the squad in Queens. Dan Faulkner and my kids played in a league in Orlando. So Queens, Brooklyn, Atlanta, Huntsville, Orlando, Chicago, Trenton, Philly, LA and Compton. My main man, Spider Lope, SBI. From Compton and LA, so Compton and LA. Gonna get a team just like Trenton / Philly. They're gonna be together at first. When we expand, they each will have their own team, and then San Francisco. Got a cousin that did 20 years in prison, Tracy Webb, and we had always talked about. When I say we, I'm talking about my family, especially my mom. My mom passed away though. His auntie never got to see him out on the street. His auntie never let me forget. And my little cousin was down. So I always told her when he got out, we was going to make a way to make him straight. My main man Spider got a movement called Paroled. He shot a movie called Paroled with Master P and Raj from Good Times and all that. And we're going to do something with our convicted felons and our brothers who've caught strikes. And we're going to use our raw talents to erase the recidivism of constantly going back to prison. And we're going to give them an opportunity with these streams coming from assets that we control, we the best in the world at, to coach and manage and invest, do strength and conditioning, tell a story, inspire, have life coach, all of that. So San Fran, those the 9. Alright? I'm gonna come back and show y'all how the NFL and NBA did the same thing that Snoop did. I'll be back.